I'm here standing at the edge of the western wall, close to the corner where we would say that's the southern wall and the southern steps of the Temple Mount. We say this is the Temple Mount. What we mean by that is this is the earthenwork retaining area that King Herod built around the time of the birth of Christ. He built it so that he could have a much larger area on which to build a temple for the Jewish people. Herod wasn't loved by the Jewish people because he was an Idumean. He was only partly Jewish, and he was a megalomaniac. He loved these massive building projects, but he was doing them not to impress the Jewish people or because of Jewish nationalism. He was doing them to impress the Romans and garner their favor. Well, this massive retaining wall, you can see the size of the stones. In fact, down below, there's one particular stone, that's the largest that they found, that is about 40 feet in length and weighs over 600 tons. One stone cut out of one piece of limestone placed here. The rocks behind me are remnants of what was on top of the wall. They might be the buildings or the parapet or the area that would be on top of the retaining wall that was destroyed in 70 AD. The Romans didn't care to tear down the retention wall. It was just too massive. But everything on top of the Temple Mount was set ablaze, was destroyed. The stones, the rocks, the temple, Solomon's colonnade, all of that was destroyed and is behind me. And when Jesus was here on earth, he said this. He said, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it up in 3 days." Of course, he was speaking about the temple of his body. Indeed, the Jewish temple was destroyed in 70 AD. And indeed, Jesus was raised again. As we think about this place, I can't help but think about the significance of Jesus Christ as our cornerstone. In fact, one of the stones that has been uncovered here has writing on it that it identifies it at the cornerstone. We don't think it was the cornerstone of the temple because of where it's found, but it was maybe another building, perhaps even Solomon's colonnade, that it was the cornerstone. But what a reminder when Jesus spoke of himself as the cornerstone, that people understood what that meant. I'm also reminded as I see the ruins here, I'm also reminded that Jesus one day will establish his earthly kingdom, and his seat of authority will be here in Jerusalem. There will be a millennial temple in which the nations of the earth will come and gather to worship him. And there will be no conflict, there will be no uprisings, there will be no stone fights, there will be no police presence. Jesus will rule and reign here. And I invite you to be a participant with him, ruling and reigning with Christ in his kingdom, simply by coming to him in faith. Then let's live our lives for him so that we can earn his favor and gain his reward and serve with him in his kingdom.